Robert Pattinson?
This is of no use. Hey everybody, welcome to the second episode of Cooking with Ben. Just so happens to be our Halloween special, because it's Halloween time. Second episode where we cook for fun, most of the time at least. Today, we are cooking for survival. I can't do this whole video. As you may know, this time of year, the undead, the immortal monsters, spooky things, mainly vampires, like to come out, get people. Thought we could make a meal that a vampire would die for. Because vampires don't wait for anyone, and Robert Pattinsons already in my shower, we're going to make this a very simple recipe. We're not making garlic bread from scratch. Actually, let me get the ingredients. So the ingredient list is actually super simple. Basically 4 main items. I picked up a loaf of already baked roasted garlic bread, if you watched my last video, so we don't have to make that ourselves because we don't have time. Like I said, vampires, they have eternity, but they're very impatient. So all we're gonna do for this is heat it back up in the oven with some basic garlic butter, seasonings, and some cheese on it. You want some San Marzano tomatoes, because we're going to make our own sauce today. That is probably the only luxury we're going to indulge in. Peeled tomatoes. Along with that, you're going to need salt, pepper, spices, herbs, and sugar. That is very important. And our last 2 main ingredients, some pasta. This is a bronze cut, because bronze cut helps hold pasta, sauce, and liquids much better. And this particular pasta is a pini. And then some black food coloring. This we're going to gang, and some black food coloring. This we're gonna throw into our pasta while it's cooking to help give some spooky vibes. Because the black with the red pasta, I think is gonna be very spooky and Halloweeny. So let's get cooking. Oh yeah, do you guys like my mullet pirate chef outfit? I guess I'm the chef of a pirate ship in the 80s or 90s. So this next step is entirely optional. This is going to just basically be dependent on the texture that you want for your sauce. If you want it really chunky, go ahead and throw that can in a pan and start it that way. You can also crush it up with like a wooden spoon or something. But typically I like my sauce really smooth. So I'm going to put it in this food processor and smooth it out as much as I can. Oops. And then pulse. Yay. Then you can take off your lid and check for consistency. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Don't ever take that out while it's still in there, because now sauce is gonna get all up in the blade. So what you want to do is get a saucepan and set it to medium-low to medium heat, and go ahead and put your tomatoes in there. Okay, so the next step is going to be a big one for imparting any flavors that you want in your sauce, because those tomatoes are gonna have to kind of simmer for about 30-ish minutes or so. Now's the time to go ahead and throw in your salt, pepper, garlic, obviously, because they're killing vampires, any herbs, and then sugar. Mostly the salt and sugar. You want to start with low amounts, and then you can always add more to suit your taste. So this is where I'm gonna add Italian seasoning, parsley flakes, oops, try to scoop some of that out. I mean, like, parsley is good, but that's a lot. Some black garlic powder, some regular garlic powder. I put some pepper in there. And for the sugar, let's say like 2-ish tablespoons for now. All right, you stir that, and then you're just gonna let it simmer for 30-ish minutes. So while that's simmering, now's a good time to get a few things kind of prepared. The pasta we're gonna do using a frying pan, so it's gonna cook a lot faster. So you don't need to start that just yet. So we'll put the pasta and the food coloring off for a second. Let's focus on the garlic bread. So for the garlic bread, it's already baked. So all we're really gonna do is like basically reheat it and kind of melt some of the other stuff that we're putting in it with it. We're gonna make it taste good. Better. It's already good. It's Johnny. Anyway, so you only really need a few things for basically enhancing the garlic bread. Serrated knife, butter of your choice. This is some plant butter, and then some more garlic powder, probably some salt, and then I'd say some more like herbs and spices that you want to put into it. I would also recommend some freshly grated Parmesan if you will. So a cheese grater or a micro planer, probably a good idea too. So how you want to cut this, I guess, is just up to you. You really just want to make sure you get the butter mixture that we're making down into the grooves of the bread itself. Yeah, this seems fine. Let's cut it once down the middle, and then a bunch of spots here, 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 and here. So I should be able to get some down in there. So next I'm gonna take half the stick of butter and melt it. Personally, I'd recommend using actual butter for some of the flavor it has, but this is what I had and it works. Forgot to mention, I've got my oven preheated to 375. I don't really have a particular reason why I picked that, because I don't really want to like bake it. I just kind of want to reheat it, but enough to where it kind of evaporates some of the moisture from the butter mixture. Our butter mixture, a little bit of salt in there, not much. You can't go wrong with pepper. Now this particular bread has roasted garlic cloves in it. You can see some. I don't want to go too heavy on the garlic, but we still need enough to kill a vampire. So use that at your own discretion. I think probably a lot, but I like garlic too. Reggiano. So aside from the Parmesan, you can also add cheese to this, which personally I recommend because cheese is amazing. So yeah, I'd recommend adding some cheese. Provolone would go good with this. Oh buddy. I happen to have this Italian style blend cheese, which we're gonna use with this. Yeah, that's good. Don't forget to stir your sauce every few minutes so it doesn't like burn the bottom. You'll notice it smells very tomatoey, and that's kind of why we're cooking it, and also adding sugar is to get some of that pure tomato taste out of it, so it doesn't taste like tomato juice. So then, a little pastry brush, and then you just want to try to get some on all that crevices, but be careful, because a mistake I've made in the past is getting this too wet. The outside's starting to brown more, but the inside is still very wet. So just be careful with the amount you put in there. You don't want to overdo it. You just want a little flavor. That's probably enough. I still have a lot left over. Don't use as much butter as I did. Just gonna stuff the cheese in here, or sprinkle it, I guess. Because lactose intolerant people like me can't get enough cheese. Grate some more on top of this. And so last but not least, we're gonna get to the pasta. So you could go ahead and boil a big pot of water if you need to make a lot of pasta, but I don't need to make. I just need to make 1 or 2 servings. We're actually gonna use frying pan. You still want it to be like kind of deep, because you're gonna be putting less pasta and less water in it. It's gonna cook a lot faster. So you don't want to fill up all the way. I only did half, because then I'm gonna pour the pasta in here, and then I'm gonna make sure it's covered. So I used about that much. Very scientific measurement. Don't forget to put salt in your water. And then normally you put it on medium-high heat, put the lid on it, and that's it. You just have to wait. But since we're making it spooky, we're gonna add some black food coloring to it. I don't know the exact amount. 20 to 25 drops is 1/4 of a teaspoon, so I'd say that's probably a good place to start. Definitely lost count and just started pouring it in. Also, I put more water in it. And now you just kind of let everything cook up. So this is what this looks like. I know it looks super delicious. Yum. It's probably enough though. And then remember, stir, and at any point you want taste your sauce. Okay, it's still very hot. One thing you gotta do though, whenever you're cooking with a shallow frying pan, is you've got to watch it a lot, because then you'll be like me if you don't, and it'll start to bubble up over and get on your burner. Alright, the bread just came out of the oven. It looks pretty good. The cheese is melted. Looks like it's browned a little bit on top. Cheese is melted. So we're gonna let this cool until we can cut into it. However, you could also feel free to brush on any of this leftover garlic butter over top. Also, I gotta say, I really like how these are looking. That's definitely turned that pasta black. And my fingers. Not done yet. That's for sure. Now would be a great time to check on your pasta sauce, give it a little taste, and see how it tastes, if you need to add anything, and make sure it's thickening up like it should. Okay? Good news is, it definitely tastes like hot tomatoes. Bad news is, I think it needs more salt and more pepper. So I think the pasta's done, so I'm gonna go ahead and strain it. So after the pasta's done, this is what it looks like. Woo! Spooky. This is so fucking cool. Black pasta. I guess if you're fancy, you could use like squid ink or something, but we do food coloring around here, ma'am. So the pasta sauce is taking longer than I thought. Bad on me, I should have saved some of the pasta water to help thicken it up because it's still kind of like pretty watery. I wasn't thinking about it because I just wanted to get rid of all that dark water that was staining everything, like my stovetop. But in the meantime, we can cut into this garlic bread and see how it looks. So there's the corner piece. Looks pretty good. And it's still a little wet, but not too bad. That would definitely kill a vampire.
Perhaps some garlic bread to start.
No. You want some? Nah. He knows it would kill him. So the sauce is not super thick, but not super thin. It has thickened up some. So once this cools down and is not bubbling hot, I'm gonna see if it tastes okay. A little spicy. How wide am I? Why is this kind of spicy? I probably put too much pepper in it. It's good though. Tastes good. And there you go, guys. That is the meal that a vampire would die for. Get it? But no, seriously, it looks great. A little different than what I expected, but I guess I didn't think about how the sauce would appear against the black noodles. But it looks good, so let's take a bite. My fabulous hair out of the way. It's pretty good. I feel like there's a little something missing. It may just be the pasta water. I don't really know, but I mean, it is good. Mission a success. So I had fun kind of shooting this really quick episode because there's only basically a week left to Halloween, and I kind of decided yesterday or the day before that I wanted to have something out before then, so that's why I decided to kind of go with something quick and easy, not as in-depth. But I want to thank you guys for watching. As always, if there is something that you think I could have done differently, or if you make this and you make some changes, let me know what they are. And if you make this, let me know how it turns out. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a happy Halloween. I can hear someone coming. Oh shit. Okay, look, if you find this, I want you to know vampires are real. All that spooky shit you see on TV, it's real. Time to do your job. Die, monster! Happy Halloween!